morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, it's finally time to look at Boltund VMAX, because Boltund VMAX is real, ladies and gentlemen. Boltund VMAX is real. We did a video the other day looking at Boltund V and suggesting why Boltund VMAX was definitely coming. So we're not going to go into a huge amount of detail about that. Suffice to say, we figured Boltund V was a thing because it was on the pack for Fusion Strike. And Pokemon have got a rule, and I've said this many times. If you want to predict the future behavior of a company, the best thing you can do is look at the past behavior of that company. And we saw it with Victini, and we saw it with Sandaconda. If Pokemon prints a second different V of the same Pokemon, it's coming with a VMAX. Now, with Greedent as well, which I think we looked at earlier today, hopefully I've uploaded these in the right order, that basically makes it 4 for 4. 4 times Pokemon have given the same Pokemon a second different Pokemon V, and 4 times it's been accompanied by a VMAX. The rule is rather simple, ladies and gentlemen, and until we're told otherwise, I think this is something that we can follow. Now, the V was released a little while ago, or was revealed, I should say, and remember, it has also been confirmed that there is an alternate art reprint of it coming in those 100 start decks, which is really kind of beautiful and awesome. So if you're into Boltund, there are a couple different artworks. As a quick reminder, for a single energy, you do 30 damage and you may switch it with the bench, or for free energy, you do 120 plus 30 to one of your opponent's bench. It's fine, but it's not good. Neither of those attacks are particularly exciting. Sure, 120 plus doing 30 to the bench is alright, but put very bluntly, if you're playing Boltund VMAX, you want the Boltund from Rebel Clash. It is way better. You've got the attack that lets you accelerate extra energy. Good. And you've got the attack that lets you do extra damage depending on the amount of energy you've got on the field. To put it bluntly, the new Boltund V is aggressively meh. The old Boltund V saw a huge amount of play when Lightning decks were good. Now it's dropped off because Lightning has lost a lot to rotation, the format moved on past them, etc. But to be blunt, when Lightning decks were good, this was great. So this is definitely the one you want to use. Now, obviously, the new Boltund V has a regulation mark of E, not D. So yes, it is absolutely fair to say that there will be a year where we don't have the Rebel Clash Boltund. We have to use the new one. Fine. But until we get there, ladies and gentlemen, I am absolutely in on old Boltund. Old Boltund is the way you want to go. So with all of that borne in mind, what can we say about this new one? The new VMAX. Is the new VMAX any good? Should we be getting excited about the new VMAX? Well, we've gone up in HP. We've gone up to 320, which isn't high, but it is pretty standard. It's all right. It's what we would expect. You do have that weakness to fighting, and honestly, weakness to fighting nowadays actually sucks. Because you've got things like Rapid Strike Urshifu that's seeing a huge amount of play, and you've got things like Galarian Zapdos, and essentially any deck that is ever worried about you can just play Galarian Zapdos, and then you're kind of out of it. And that's a genuine problem, so I'm not loving the weakness. But are there any attacks that we are loving? Well, for 2 energy, you do 30 damage, plus 30 more for each lightning energy attached to all of your Pokemon. And what I love about this is that basically what the card designers have gone and done is said, look, we'll give you a new Boltund. We're bringing you a VMAX. We have to bring you a new V. But we are building on the good Boltund, because this is a better version of what we saw from the V. The V did 10 damage plus 30 more for each lightning energy attached to all of your Pokemon for 2 energy. This does 30 damage plus 30 more for each lightning energy attached to all of your Pokemon for 2 energy. It's the same attack, but it does 20 more damage. Other than that, same cost, same extra damage per energy, same basically everything. And I love this. The problem is we are actually not in the same format as when Boltund was good. Now, there was a video on this channel where there's a couple of videos where Pokemon actually hired me to make videos about PTCGO, and I was extremely happy. And in one of those videos, I made a couple of decks on PTCGO, and one of the decks I made was a straightforward speed Boltund deck, because it was a really good deck to show kind of beginner deck building, and because it was a super interesting deck. Now, it was never quite good enough, but the thing was, we've had a lot better tricks than we have now. Because you see, pre-rotation, we had Tapu Koko. Well, Tapu Koko would get 2 extra lightning energy on the field, and incidentally, that would make 2 of your Boltund single energy attackers, which would be awesome, but it would also mean an extra 60 damage, and that would be really good. But we don't have that right now. And we see things like Galarian Articuno, which accelerate a couple of extra energy, which is lovely, and we've had that for lightning. It was in Call of Legends. It was Pachirisu. That rotated a very long time ago. If you look at something like Psychic, you've got that Galarian Articuno, you've got Shadow Rider Calyrex, and you've got Cresselia, which doesn't even really get used most of the time. And Shadow Rider Calyrex, incidentally, has a very similar attack in that you can do more damage based on the amount of coloured energy you've got on the field. And most decks don't even play Cresselia because it's not even needed. The thing is, what have you got for lightning? And the answer is Flaffy. You've got Flaffy. Now, there's other weird things. You can use Turbo Patch if you flip heads, Rose if you're willing to discard your entire hand, although you have things like Rose Tower and Krikachu nowadays which can help. The Electrode from Vivid Voltage, I'm not counting. You're giving up a prize to get 2 extra energy on the field. I am not loving it. The answer is Flaffy. And in theory, Flaffy works here. And Flaffy's really good. Flaffy's got amazing Okacheke artwork, but also, once per turn per Flaffy, you get to accelerate a lightning energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. So clearly, this is tailor-made for this kind of Boltund deck. The thing is, at the moment, we're in a format with Rapid Strike Urshifu. And since Mew rotated out, we don't have any bench protection. So essentially, what's going to happen, and this is generally what people are finding with Flaffy decks at the moment, is that against Rapid Strike Urshifu, you're just losing 2 of the Flaffy pretty quickly. And then, of course, you've got to ask the question of, well, if I'm playing a Flaffy deck, am I better off playing Rayquaza VMAX, given that Rayquaza VMAX has a built-in draw engine, and also can do kind of infinite damage, and probably actually adds up a little bit faster. Now, Rayquaza, you do have to get at least 1 fire energy on there, which is a bit awkward, and you do have to discard when you attack, but Rayquaza can get up to big damage super quickly, and I'm not sure whether I wouldn't rather just have Rayquaza VMAX. And the fact is that because of the format we're in at the moment, even Rayquaza VMAX is really not proving to be as good as maybe it could have been, and that's kind of my point. I love the idea of this attack on Boltund VMAX. I love the combo with Flaffy. But between Flaffy being awkward in the specific format we're in at the moment and Rayquaza being another option, I'm not sure I want to play this for the first attack. So what about the second attack? Is the second attack any good? And the answer is, it's fine, but it doesn't inspire me to play Boltund VMAX. Free energy, 230, and you can't use it next turn. Put simply, it's a free energy attack that KOs Pokemon V. And 230 is a great number for KOing Pokemon V, and you will get a KO on Pokemon V here. This is awesome for KOing Pokemon V. Good, brilliant. That's it. And to be fair, it's not that different to most of the other VMAXs around. Because if we compare this to something like Ice Rider Calyrex, it is your classic 1-hit KO Pokemon V, 2-hit KO Pokemon VMAX as a Pokemon VMAX. So if we take a look at Ice Rider Calyrex, generally speaking, what you need to do is put 2 water energy on, you discard them both, you deal 250 damage, and then there's ways to reset the energy. So, why do I like this so much less than Ice Rider Calyrex? And the answer is, because Ice Rider Calyrex has got a way better weakness. Yes, I know it's weak to Zacian. I'm sorry, Zacian is really not that relevant at the moment. It's out there, but I'd rather be weak to Metal than I would be to Fighting right now. Again, anyone can just play Galarian Zapdos and have an instant counter to you. That is way too awkward for my liking. It makes me extremely nervous. An Ice Rider Calyrex, you've got ways to accelerate the energy that aren't dependent on a bench sitter. You can use Melanie as a supporter card, and I'm not giving up free prizes to something like a Rapid Strike Urshifu. And really, the second attacker Boltund is pretty similar to all of these VMAXs we've got at the moment. 1-hit KO a V, 2-hit KO a VMAX as a 320 HP VMAX. But I'm not loving the energy acceleration. And I'm not, again, Flaffy's amazing, but it's so vulnerable nowadays. And I'm not loving the typing particularly. I'm not loving the weakness particularly. It is fine. It's not a bad card. I am not in any way, shape, or form telling you Boltund's a bad card. It's not. It is a standard run-of-the-mill VMAX in 2021. But there is nothing about Boltund VMAX that makes me excited like there is of a Pokemon like Greedent, for instance. Greedent gets me excited, ladies and gentlemen. This, nah. I'm still giving it between 3 and 4 Wassies, but I don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. I think it's fine, and certainly having the Rebel Clash Boltund to accelerate energy early game and give you a 2 prize rather than a 3 prize attacker is nice. But I just do not like this compared to other VMAXs, and I'm probably going to be proven wrong because it is fine. High HP, KOVs, 2-hit KOV maxes. There's just nothing about this that particularly excites me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just spoiled after seeing Greedent. I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.